Good evening, welcome to the nighttime heat right here on Prime FM 105.5. This is the midweek edition of the program. This program is also being relayed by Radio Gagama, that is in Imba County, Kwatika and Bon County, and of course Radio Lodisi and Lofa County. We are streaming live on our Facebook page. That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. Again, just tap Nighttime Heat and then you follow the show on Facebook. Besides, we are also streaming live on our YouTube page. That is our YouTube Facebook page. Our YouTube page, that is, again, just tap Nighttime Heat, and then after which you're going to subscribe. And of course, you follow the show. We want you to share tonight's show because it promises to be very, very intriguing. We are also streaming live on Prime FM Morovia 105.5. Again, Prime FM Morovia 105.5. We are streaming live. My two panelists, one of them already here, George Kennedy, is here, and of course, I'm sure Moses will shortly join us. And of course, let me just give you a hint of what we'll be looking at tonight. I'm sure you heard about the cancellation of consumers' fees. In fact, on the petroleum importers and pay to petroleum importers and storage tanks owners. That drama has been on. Musa Hassan Bediri has been reacting, pushing back on the government. If I understand that he has threatened, if that happens, he's going to shut down his Streamex company. We'll be looking at that as well. Liberia and Rwanda to sign a pact that is a visas waiver pact. They signed that today. So it means that maybe you don't have to, you don't need a visa to travel to Rwanda. You know, when I traveled there, I think 3 years ago, yes, we had to go through that. And of course, also, tonight we'll be looking at, we'll be playing some tips from the interview conducted by the state broadcaster with the Minister of Finance. So basically, to just, provide more clarities on some of what's been trending on social media and some of the innuendos that individuals who've believed to be fighting proxy war, they've been spreading around. We'll play some of those tips tonight. Saba George is my name. Well, like I said to one of my panelists, Josh Kennedy is over here. Josh, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. Good evening to you. Good evening to the people of Liberia and our wonderful listeners and to our technicians. I want to say thank you. You're doing a wonderful job.
Okay, so I know Moses will soon join us. We hope to be joined quickly by Sam Jackson. I'm sure you're quite aware that there's the whole issue with liquidity in our country. Although the central bank has said there's absolutely no cash shortage, but individuals, in fact, who've been going to banks, been complaining of that. And besides, there's this serious reduction in the rate. Did you express? Have you heard anything of that nature? I mean, let me hear from you while we're trying to still await Sam Jackson.
Yes, the rate has dropped drastically. I think by $300, was changing $10 around $2,000, and $10 is now around $170, which means around $5 now is $850. In some area, it's less than that, and there's confusion. The rate coming down is not bad. There is confusion between the rate commensurating with the prices of commodities on the market.
Sure.
So We're still waiting to see the impact on the market within the next 1 or 2 weeks, because it's not just immediate in this kind of market that mostly informal, you know. Yeah, so we're waiting to see how it goes through. We don't know the market forces that are influencing this rate. We are hearing from the central bank that it's because of monetary policy, and it's because of some remittances increase in remittances that led to the reduction in the exchange rate between the Liberian dollars and the US dollars. But we wait to see, because once the rate is coming down and people begin to feel the impact, on the market, in the purchasing power of the money, then of course they will be very happy. But instead, if prices don't drop, you will observe that people won't be happy about it. It will look so artificial. And that is why we want to see the real-time impact.
Yeah. Let me try to read what the central bank released while we await Sam Jackson. Liberian dollar appreciates, no shortage on the market, CBL. The Central Bank of Liberia, CBL, reassures the public and all market participants that there's no shortage of Liberian dollars in the financial system. Commercial banks maintained sufficient Liberian dollar liquidity to meet customer demand, including government salaries, settlements, and private sector transactions. Recent concerns about Liberian dollar shortages do not reflect the true liquidity situation. As of September 3, 2025, commercial banks held LD 1.65 billion in vault cash balances, adequate to serve customer withdrawals and payments, while the CBL itself maintains strong reserves to support the system when necessary. Banks' excess reserves have nearly doubled to LD 2.02 billion compared to September 2024, underscoring strong liquidity. The central bank stresses that rumors of scarcity are isolated, arising from speculation, hoarding, and misinterpretation. These do not reflect Liberia's actual Liberian dollar financial conditions, which remain stable and resilient. Alongside this stability, the Liberian dollar has recorded a sharp appreciation against United States dollars. On September 8, 2025, the exchange rate was about LD 180 to US $1, buying compared to LD $201 to US $1 at end August 2025, an appreciation of 10.5% in just 1 week. A CBL market survey on September 9 confirmed the trend, recording LD 182.94 to US $1 buying and LD 134.94 to US $1 selling. This appreciation reflects both economic and structural factors. Since April 2025, the central bank has maintained a tight monetary policy stance, holding the monetary policy rate at 17.25% and sterilizing more than LD 13 billion to stabilize the foreign exchange market, strengthening remittance inflows of US 425.9 million in the first half of 2025 and expanding economic activity outside Monrovia induced by improved road connectivity. Inflation has also declined from 13.1% in February 2025 to 7.4% in July, with further declines projected for August and September. At the same time, structural developments are easing inflationary pressures. Road connectivity is reducing transport costs. Expanded domestic energy is lowering production expenses, and gains in agricultural productivity are improving food availability, together with reduced social deficit and the use of the Pan-African payment and settlement system. For cross-border trade, these reforms are reinforcing confidence in the Liberian dollar. We're still awaiting Sam Jackson. We're hoping that he will join us very shortly so that we can speak with him before 8:30. Okay, I'm sure Sam should be on by now. Okay, Moses Sandy. Let's try to welcome Moses quickly. Moses, welcome to the program. Moses, welcome.
Yeah, but man, I was on mute. Thank you so much, Trevor. Mr. Kennedy, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm very fine.
And I see Mr. Jackson coming in. Mr. Jackson, it's a pleasure to be here with you and the rest of the guys. It's indeed a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. And let's welcome Mr. Sam Jackson. Quickly, we are getting the negative feedback. Kindly adjust. We're hoping it's not from the end to Moses or from Mr. Jackson's end. Let's try quickly to welcome Mr. Jackson quickly to the program. Mr. Sam Jackson, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Well, Silver Josh, I'm very glad to see you, Mr. Sandy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And Mr. Kennedy, how you guys are doing? Are you still getting the feedback? There's no feedback from my side. I'm from one of your side.
No, it's okay. It's okay now. It's okay.
I'm getting feedback. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so I was just reading, the central bank's statement before Moses and Mr. Jackson came in. But let me hear from you, Mr. Jackson. Let's hear from you first. What's your reading of what is obtaining? I'm sure you've been following the news and also listening and also apparently transacting as well. We see a situation where the rate is dropping.
I want to know what's going on.
I think Mr. George
Both of them gone off.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Do you see me, Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, I can see you loud and clear. I can hear you also.
Yes.
We just have to wait till they return.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what is happening in Monrovia. Mr. Jackson, you're in Monrovia, right?
Yeah, I am in Cape Town, yes.
Oh, okay, good. It seems that Saba is back now.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back. So, Mr. Jackson, we just want you to give us your own reading. What is it that you've been hearing? What is it you've been seeing? I'm sure you've been transacting as well. Let's hear from you.
Well, the thing is, look, I have very little transactions out there. I mean, retire, stay home. But what I've been reading on the internet and the comments I've been hearing from people, there's a claim that the selling and buying rate for Liberian dollar has gone down by 10%, went down to 180. That was the first thing I heard, right? So that kind of a dramatic drop of about 10%, okay, in that kind of dramatic drop in the rate and the appreciation of Liberian dollar is significant. Now, I don't know what to tie it to. I don't know whether I tie it to the monetary policy of the central bank or whether I tie it to some other economic conditions in the country. I really don't know. I haven't studied that, but I'm just going to give you some some scenarios, eh?
Mhm.
Okay. It could be there could be a shortage of Liberian dollar on the market because the central bank itself has been pursuing a tight monetary policy, and they've been taking some Liberian dollars out of the market and they've been sterilizing that. That is typically and usually not a sustainable long-term monetary policy, but it can be used as a stopgap to stabilize the exchange rate. Okay. The reason why people haven't seen a concomitant, meaning the prices go down, because there's something in economics, a phenomenon called sticky prices, right? When the exchange rate goes down, there's not an automaticity where prices start to fall for two reasons. The first reason is that the inventory that is being held at the retail level was bought at the old exchange rate and at the old price structure. So people are not going to automatically start, now. So that's it. Now, unless, of course, if that price is not the equilibrium price and people stop buying the products, and there's and the demand goes down, then the sellers will be forced to reduce their prices. So these are the circumstances that people should be looking at.
No, but listening to the central bank, the bank indicated that absolutely there's no shortage. But if you look at what is obtaining, that some individuals who said they went to bank and commercial banks and they couldn't get cash out of the banks. How do we explain this to our people?
So there are two things, right? There is what we call what is happening on the books of the central bank and what is happening out there for transactions, right? So if you look at what they call M1, money in banks, right? So and then we look at the combination of then we go to M2, which is the money, currency in banks, and then currency outside, right? So if the central bank went to look at it, we say, well, look, there's been a substantial change, okay, in terms of the monetary aggregate, okay. So we have sufficient money here in the bank, and then the reserves of the commercial banks, there has not been any negative impact of it, and there's no liquidity within the banking system. That's how they are looking at it from the theoretical thing, right? But there may be some transactional challenges within the bank that the central bank will not be aware of. Right? People are complaining, and people are saying that they go to the bank, they're not getting money. That's just the reality. It's no longer theory. You follow me? So if somebody goes to the bank and say, I couldn't get my money, that's the reality. But it is not reflective of what the bank balances are from the central bank perspective. So from the central bank perspective, and it's also for the political implications of a shortage of Liberian dollars on the market, the central bank would have to go and say, theoretically speaking, we're looking at our bank balances, we're looking at the reserve of the banks, we're looking at a real-time gross settlement in terms of what is happening in terms of transactions within the economy, and all of these things, and we'll realize that there's no change.
Now, before Moses before you come, let me just Moses 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute, Moses, before you come in, let me just read this portion of the central bank's statement. The central bank stresses that rumors of scarcity are isolated, arising from speculation, hoarding, and misinterpretation. Is the bank trying to say that there are individuals who are hoarding the cash? Is it what this statement is saying, Mr. Jackson, from your own economic perspective?
Okay, so let's just be very clear. There is the official market and there is a parallel market in Liberia. Let's just be very clear about that, right? Mm-hmm. The official market is where the 9 banks and the 93 branches, right? Money in the hands of people are in informal institutions, largely like the Fullers and others who hold that money, right? So I can go to a lot of places in Monrovia here, give them US dollars, and they can send that money to Ghana or to any country, all right? I don't know. Okay, these are established foreign exchange operations by the central bank, but those kinds of institutions, right? They don't go through the reserve system. They don't go through the normal banking system, okay? And they have a way of impacting the exchange rate because they're holding a lot of cash. They're holding a lot of cash. And the government of Liberia, the central bank, does not have the ability to control the parallel market. And the parallel market is a problem in many countries. And it's a problem especially for Liberia because we have a dual currency system and we have a lot of unofficial foreign exchange transactions going on within the economy. So it depends on what is happening. It will be what is happening in the parallel market. In the parallel market, they could be holding a lot of cash. And I don't want to just say the Fulas, because the Lebanese, the Indians, and other ethnicities, they also have parallel markets. People have susu clubs. They have all these kind of informal institutions, right? What we need to do is to increase the value of money within the banks. Because during the early administration, only 4% of currency was in the banking system. Okay, to George Weah, it went up to 20%. And the reason why it went up to 20%, because there was an increase in something which is mobile money and electronic banking. So people didn't have need for cash. So a lot of that cash was in the bank. So what was changing is that the money was staying in the bank. Okay, and it was not, people did not need cash for transactions. For example, if I went to Oporto's, if I went to Royal Hotel, and I use my Visa or MasterCard, I'm not using cash. So all that is changed is that my bank balance is being decreased and the bank balance of Royal Hotel or Oporto is being increased. You follow me? And those kind of transactions are we'll call the circular flow. And they really grow economies because they are very fast. Okay, they're very fast. And they are very easy to manage. They're easy to monitor by central bank authorities.
Okay, Moses can come in.
Yeah, Mr. Jackson, it's rather good that we have you tonight. As an economist, I was wondering, critics of the administration may say that the current drop in the exchange rate is artificial and the current situation is not sustainable. As an economist, what would be your reaction to such comments coming from anyone who is critical of the administration?
So let's not go into the politics of it, but let's just go into the reality, right? In economics, you have to look at trends, right? Historical trends. Right? Typically, going towards the end of the year, when we have the Christmas season coming, there is typically a drop in the value of the US dollar and the appreciation of the Liberian dollar because there's a lot of US dollars coming into the country, foreign inward remittances for people to go shopping. And then so the demand for Liberian dollars go up. But this is September, right? And this is early in September, okay? So I cannot find any economic reason for that precipitous drop of 10% of the value of the US dollar and 10% appreciation of the Liberian dollar. But I'm not going to politicize it and say that there is something untoward that is happening or there is something devious or something dubious. I really can't say that. So I don't think anybody should politicize this. What I think we should be doing is, put people to work. And the way we economists would go right now, would go put the data collectors out there and then let them go collect data and talk to the people in the market, the biggest players in the market, the major players to find out exactly what is going on in the market. What is causing this precipitous drop in the value of the US dollar and what is increasing the value of the Liberian dollar? So I wouldn't politicize it. But I would be curious to know what is going on.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, let me just read something in this press release from the central bank, quoting the bank's governor. He said there's no shortage of Liberian dollars in the financial system. The recent appreciation of the currency reflects sound policy measures, structural improvements, and improving economic fundamentals. The central bank remains vigilant in safeguarding exchange rate stability, ensuring liquidity, and building confidence in the economy. What is happening?
So,
Does it reflect a sound economic measures or policy measures, as he said it?
so the central bank will have to take a victory lap because the rate, the value of the Liberian currency went up, and that is their primary objective, right? But they're also politicizing it by saying this is because of what they've been doing. This is a precipitous drop. Typically, in a macroeconomy, you don't have a 10% drop of the 10% drop in the value of the US dollar or 10% appreciation of the Liberian dollar just like that in one day. It happened like just like this with a snap of a finger, right? So okay, yes, they can blow their own horn, they can clap about it, and they should take credit for it, right? But the reality is coming from data is this is a precipitous drop. It's a precipitous, what I mean by precipitous drop, it dropped fast. You know, it dropped too quick, right? So when something is if it was part of policy prescription, you will see incremental drops over a period of time, right? But this precipitous drop is telling me that something's happening in the market. But look at the words that they chose. They chose there is no shortage of Liberian dollars within the financial system. Remember that now. The financial system means that within the banks. But what about in the broad money, right, which is the parallel market and the transactional market, which is out there, which is not within the financial system, right? Most of GDP, the buying of goods and services in Liberia is bought with cash. In some countries, because they have the mobile money and other electronic payments, more than 90% of GDP is what? Is bought by what? Electronic payments and mobile money. In America, I hardly see cash. I don't even see cash. Everywhere I go, I can use my mobile, my debit card or credit card, right? But in Liberia, you need cash. The cold water seller on the street, the mild water there in the market, and you go buy your fish and so on and so on. But you go to the supermarket, you can use your debit card, right? But it's significant volume of transaction within the Liberian economy is by cash. And that cash is held by whom? Ordinary men and women and other informal financial institutions that the central bank has no control over. So the central bank can say there's no shortage of cash within the financial system, right? The financial system that they control, which is the banks, the savings and loan, and those other things who are registered with the central bank, right? But they cannot say categorically that there is no shortage of Liberian dollars within the economy. They did not say that. They said there is no shortage of cash right within the financial system, financial institutions. Yeah, so they're not wrong, but they're also being political, and they have to be political because of the central bank reports to the national authority, which is the president, and the president wants the people to feel good that his policies are bringing value to the Liberian dollar. So I understand where they're coming from.
So shortly we'll take leave of you, but what is the difference when the bank says that there's no shortage of cash in the financial system, and then also there's when people are experiencing shortage on the market? What is the difference there?
But no, the difference is, remember I told you we have the 9 banks and 93 branches, and we have savings and loans, and all of those are tied to the financial system. And the central bank has regulatory authority over those, right? But the central bank does not have regulatory authority over people who have the money in their pocket and people who keep money in their homes. And the large volume traders have a lot of Liberian dollars, right? So what is happening in that market that is impacting the market in the former system? Bear in mind, right? Look at the workforce in the country. About 80.9% of Liberians work in the informal sector, meaning that people who are ages 16 to 65, they don't work like places where they get paid. These people are subsistence farmers, and these are the people who are selling ground peas and rice and cigarettes, and those people that are selling in the street, right? That is the bulk of your economy, which is non-wage employment. So non-wage employment is strictly a cash and carry economy. That is a significant part of your economy. That part of the economy there is the government has historically been unable to influence activities in that sector. They can influence activities in the formal sector, the ArcelorMittal, government workers, Coca-Cola, Firestone, B Mountain, so on and so forth, right? But those other people who are earning income, who have money, right? And those people are not banking. The last statistic I saw, in terms of the percentage of adults with access to bank accounts, was about 15 to 20%, right? In other places, they're 45, 50, or 60%. In the United States, almost like 90%, right? But those people there, the central bank cannot impact what they do because the central bank has no control over what they have in their pockets. But the central bank can control by increasing the reserve ratio. What I mean is that banks keep money with the central bank. As anytime you deposit money with the central bank, a certain percentage of that money goes to the central bank as a reserve. I think now I think 17%, I'm not sure. So don't hold me to the percentage. But you put that money to the central bank, and what is that reserve used for? That reserve is used for settlement between banks, right? So if I write a check from GT Bank, yeah, and give it to somebody, and the person has an account at EcoBank, and they deposit that money in EcoBank, right? The person who's going to settle that is the central bank. That money goes to central bank. The check goes to central bank. The account of GT Bank, which is the maker, right, is debited. The account of EcoBank is credited, and then the customer gets the money. That's why it takes 2 or 3 days when somebody gives you a check. When they say the check ain't clear yet, that's what it's all about. You follow me, right?
Okay. So finally,
yeah. So
yeah,
I just quickly want to ask Mr. Jackson, the abrupt change in the exchange rate. I was wondering if this is sustainable.
It is not. No, it's not sustainable, right?
Okay.
It is not sustainable. Okay. So what I'm asking the policymakers to do, and others, even the what do you call it, the name, opposition political parties, to put together their own data people to go out there and collect data on what is obtaining in the economy that causes abrupt drop in the value of the Liberian dollar and cause appreciation in the Liberian dollar. That you have to find out what is happening that caused this. Is this really truly the sterilization of Liberian dollars by the central bank? Because what they do, Sober George, is that when the central bank wants to control the value of the Liberian dollar and they want to increase the value of it, what they do is they buy Liberian dollars. They buy Liberian dollars and they keep it in their vault. That's what called sterilization. And they do not put that money within the banking system. You follow me? So that creates a shortage, right? But that is an artificial shortage. You follow me now, right? That's an artificial shortage. So what I want to know is whether the sterilization, a short-term measure, unsustainable, is it the cause of it? If it is not as bad, because what they did, it just created a shock to the economy that they will have to lose it. They will have to loosen that valve because there will be a demand for the Liberian dollars. So that short-term stabilization or sterilization will have little or no impact. So price levels will go back and cost levels are going to go back up. What you should do is to have a long-term sustainable monetary policy that keeps the value of the Liberian dollar steady, right, and stabilizes it, but does not give swings and valleys, of the Liberian dollar. You don't want to have that kind of impact of the Liberian dollar, because it's disruptive in any circumstance. Very disruptive.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, this is my final question before we take leave of you.
No, but take your time. I have time. I have enough time. Let's
okay. All right. So let's assume, Mr. Jackson, you were at the helm of the central bank, and this issue has come up. How do you think you would have addressed it?
Well, exactly what I'm sure they're doing. I'm sure they're sending their people out there within the marketplace to collect the data to make a determination as to what happened. Why they may release a statement and say and try to provide, they have to provide confidence to the Liberian people. They have to provide comfort to the Liberian people by releasing a statement as saying that there is nothing happening, then we have this under control. They can't say we don't have this under control. They have to inspire confidence. So what they say is what any central bank will say. But when that central bank says that, then the central bank now has to go out there and do the real heavy lifting by going out in the market and making a real determination as to what the causes and effect of this disruption within the economy. And I'm calling it disruption because it's a precipitous drop. It's a precipitous drop. So if people are getting fewer Liberian dollars for the US dollars, they will expect also to pay less for items in the market, right? Because now if $5 is no longer worth $1,000, but is now worth 180, then they expect gasoline prices, they expect rice, they expect other things to go down. But I told you earlier, right? Because of the phenomenon known as sticky prices, right? Where prices do not automatically come down when the exchange rate comes down, it's because the goods were bought on the old cost structure and the old exchange rate value, right? And until, right, we reach a new equilibrium price, where because the price is so high that it prices some people out of the market, then the sellers will have to make that adjustment in order to have their goods, the inventory, for the inventories to be sold. So that will they will meet a new equilibrium price.
Okay.
Then, Mr. Jackson, then how does that benefit the ordinary citizen? Because if I'm giving you my 10 US dollars, hypothetically, you're giving me 500 Liberian dollars, and I go down to the Fuller man to buy a case of fish, and the man is telling me $600. Exactly. And before I could use my $10 and maybe get 1,000 Liberian dollars. So it creates a little bit of confusion, right?
It is problematic. That's why I say it's a disruption that needs to be investigated, and then we need to find out. We need to do something about it, right? Because this is pretty dramatic. It's not a 1 or 2% change, right? So this kind of dramatic change, where prices are not, coming down, it causes an imbalance within the market. Yeah, so it's problematic. Yeah, so the government needs to study it, but also, if I was younger, I would be out there with my pad and my pencil and sending my people out there to do some analysis and collect some data, and I'll be feeding that into my software to understand what is happening within the marketplace. But since I'm old now, I can't do much of that. It left with the young economists now to go out there and do their thing. But me, I'm too old to do startup.
No, Mr. Jackson, you can advise the people.
People say I set a planner. The people say I did. The people say I died. The people say I'm looking for this. They're looking for this. So they ain't got my time. So me, I agree. Let me just sit at home and eat my casao, eat my palm butter, and let me just rest and enjoy myself.
Okay, so Mr. Jackson, let's try to haul you into what has been happening in recent time concerning the Minister of Finance and the GSC. You know, GSC came up with an audit, indicating that there was some 2.8 million on a counter four, and that GSC report went audit report went very viral, and there were some accusing fingers at the Minister of Finance. But then the minister came up and clarified a couple of issues, and even caution or called on the LACC to come in and launch an investigation into where that monies or that two.
Hello, I think
Yeah, he's frozen.
He's frozen. Yeah. So Sandy,
What have you been reading from the whole GSC and the Ministry of Finance saga?
Look, so Josh, I don't let her get involved in he say, she say, accusation, counter accusation. That's not my style. Okay. I know Minister Kafwan. Okay, he seems to have a good reputation, the man of integrity, right? What I would like to say is that look, these charges or these allegations, okay, or these statements made by the GSC are grave, and they require further investigation. All I would say is that let Minister Kafwan and others at the Ministry of Finance, let them open themselves up to further investigation. Let them be transparent and let them try to resolve this, because Minister Kafwan's personal and professional reputation is at stake. So that's all I have to say about that. And I'm not casting aspersion. I'm not validating the allegations. I'm not taking any sides. I'm just saying that we need a team of independent auditors to go and take another look at the GSC report and see how far they can go in terms of disproving or validating the allegations that were made. But these are substantial allegations that need to be looked at.
Let's play this tape so you can listen to what the minister said a few days ago. Let's play this tape.
When I say it was an elephant in the room, the Auditor General called me yesterday and said, "Oh, but I said, because this is the big deal of the audit report." But let me say, I mean, this is what the GSC says as its observation. During the audit, we observed from our sample of payment vouchers that management facilitated payments amounting to 2,850,000 plus without evidence of adequate supporting documents such as payment receipts, quotations, contract expenditure, liquidation reports, delivery notes, job completion certificates, etc., where applicable for various expenditures to validate the legitimacy of the transactions. Now, the GSC made a recommendation that management should fully account for expenditures made without adequate supporting documents comprehensively cataloged in Annexure 1 as part of management's response to this management letter. And this is a financial statement audit.
Okay, let me explain this to you now. Firstly, let me say this. Next week, Tuesday, the 16th of September, makes me 1 year in the Ministry of Finance. 1 year. This is the second year of the regime. So for 2024, I was Minister of Finance for 3 months, I think 14 days. We started 2024 with, I call him my predecessor, good friend, Samuel Doutoue, was Minister of Finance for a good part of January 2024. So he was the first Minister of Finance for 2024. And then Boema Kamara took it up to July 2024, second. And there was an acting Minister of Finance, Anthony Myers. He had it from July up to the 16th when he turned over to me. So we're talking about 4 persons. 4 persons. Now, this is not to say that anything egregiously wrong happened. Let me say this. I was talking about explaining audit. So, the auditor transactions are taking place now here, right? LBS. The auditor could come to audit LBS 2025 reports in maybe 2026 or 2027 or maybe 2028. What would they depend on? They will say that, the accountant or the report says that Vafle Kamara was giving maybe, let's say 2,000 for a workshop. Vafle Kamara for some workshop, broadcasters workshop. Okay. And so the auditors will come and say, okay, you said that, let's see the document. Then your controller will go wherever you can keep document, trying to find stuff, right? Now, when the GSC doesn't find all the document, nobody said a lack of adequate documentation.
Yeah.
They didn't say no documentation. So when the controller and others cannot give them all the documents or what they consider adequate, they will flag it. They will flag it. But that does not mean that Vafle Kamara did not receive the money. And in my auditing course, I always taught auditors, my students, about what is called alternative procedure in evidence gathering. Now the auditors will come to the Ministry of Finance. We process everything. We keep documentations, but these ministries also have documentations. So we face archiving problems. Some people don't like to hear it. Go and see the ministry. In fact, we are looking for new structures, to put more documents. All the documents processed in government. Now, of this more than $735 million worth of transactions, GSC identified 2.8 million transactions that they feel, were not supported by adequate documentation. Now, what do they mean? Most of these transactions, I just gave you one. A transaction that took place on the 9th of September. I came in, most of the transactions took place in Vague. Let me tell you, the first thing, most.
I hope this is not an attempt to shift blame.
No, not shifting blame. Okay. I'm just explaining this. It's not to say anybody did anything wrong. That's why you have, audit findings, then you have investigative findings, forensic investigation. The auditor did not say there was any fraud. The auditor did not say there was any misappropriation. In fact, had there been fraud, we wouldn't have gotten a qualified report. Let me give you this. In auditing, there are 4 types of report. The first, which is the excellent report, is called unqualified report. The second is qualified, meaning it's good, but it's not perfect. I call him my predecessor. I call him my...
Okay. Let's try to hear from you, Mr. Jackson. You heard the minister trying to, react to the report that went viral, that there was some 2.8 million unaccounted for, and you listen to the minister. He said, its reaction does not reflect any truism in that report. Why do you think people should still continue to run with 2.8 million unaccounted for and 2.8 million unaccounted for?
So the minister said the period under review from January 1, right, 2024, right, to the current period, there were 4 finance ministers involved. Mr. Samuel Dotue until January 20, 2024. Then who took over? Burma Kamara took over. Burma Kamara took over, then Anthony Myers took over. Then he took over since September 16, right? Last year, right? So the minister basically saying, let's go ahead and section off these transactions and see whose administration or who was Minister of Finance at the time those quote unquote questionable transactions were made. That's what he's trying to say. So he is basically trying to say that, look, I have nothing to hide. I'm being very transparent. So then it will just follow what I said. Let's do a forensic audit to make a determination as to the validity of the claims that have been made by GSC against the minister, so we can know which of those 4 ministers under whose term those so-called questionable transactions were made. Simple as that. Yeah. On that note, that's it, my brother. I'm done, and God bless you. So, Mr. Sandy, you working with the program?
Yeah. Someone. I'm a broadcaster. Someone now we are coming a long way. I live in the United States. I live in Delaware.
Okay.
We work at LBS before I came, so I do contribute on a consistent basis.
Okay, so you letter to the Reverend Kennedy Sandy?
No, coincidence.
Oh, okay. Okay, so listen, well, nice to meet you guys.
I want you on a regular basis on Spoon.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Yeah, but those are my thoughts. If you have anything else that is consequential before I leave, I got another 2 or 3 minutes I give to you. You can ask it before I leave.
No, we just want to thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your time, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you very much, and God bless you. You have a good evening, okay? Good night.
Okay. Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure having you.
It was indeed a pleasure. Have a good day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, Moses?
Yes.
Moses?
Yes.
What's your takeaway? Because, from what Mr. Jackson said, and also listening to the Ministry of, the Central Bank, with the clarification that there's no shortage, and in fact, the bank at one point in time is trying to attribute things to misinterpretation and hoarding as well. What's your takeaway from the explanation made by Jackson?
I definitely agree with Mr. Jackson because Sober. Let's even just do a
before then. Let me just announce this. Let me announce this. Before then, we will shortly, be joined by Mr. Jacob DB. I think DB is the is a representative, and in fact, he's been speaking on the cancellation of the of the fees. This whole petroleum and LPRC petroleum companies and LPRC saga. He has strongly been speaking on that, and so any moment from now he'll join us as well. And we're also supposed to have Representative Sumo Molba as well to join us. So Moses, let's hear from you quickly.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I definitely agree with what Mr. Jackson said. The current change is very abrupt. You just woke up in the morning and you said, this is it. But now you have a decrease in the value, the exchange rate for US dollars, but you still have an increase in prices. How does that add up? And that's why he said this is not sustainable. It requires a further probe. I think the bank governor, the central bank governor, and the others, they should have given this a little bit of time to, instead of trying to take credit, because this is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And this change has come, Sobo, when the government is currently out there reviewing, the current financial situation in the country. Trying to talk to business owner for a decrease, because we have consistent inflections. So to see this overnight, it requires a lot of investigation. I agree with Mr. Jackson on that.
Okay, so viewers, kindly share the show. Again, we are streaming live on our Facebook page, That is the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. Just go to your Facebook and go to where they have the search, and then you tap Nighttime Heat. You're going to follow us online. Besides, we are also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Just again, tap Nighttime Heat on where you have your YouTube. Go to where they have the search on your phone or your laptop, and you tap Nighttime Heat. You're also going to follow the show online. We are streaming live also on Pram FM Monrovia 105.5. We've been joined by Representative Smo Mulba. Rep, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'd like to say good evening to everyone. Good evening, my brother Moses Cindy, and to the Liberian people, like to say good evening. Yeah.
Okay, so first, let's get your take on.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get your take first on what is obtaining regarding the shortage of, the reported shortage of cash on the Liberian market and the increase in the rate, although the central bank has come up to say, well, there's absolutely no shortage.
I think from the initial stage, I love to be real and I love to be frank when it comes to the discussion of our country. And I told you from the beginning, when the finance minister said bread and butter, right? The situation was like bread and butter. I think he exacerbated the quote unquote economic term, which was wrong. But from my end, I feel that there are a lot more, because when I told you, I said we have to sustain it. You can do everything to drop the price of rice. You can do it. When you remember, I think our last discussion, I told you, I say if we cannot sustain it, because the government is not the one in charge of the marketing whatsoever, right? They are not even in charge of the price, right? So because of that, those in charge try to control the market. So first of all, you have to take into consideration the shipping cost, the cost for shipping, right? Those material that will come, those goods that will come, the cost for shipping. You also have to look at, quote unquote, the taxes. And I heard that, I don't know whether we still have tariff, but mind you, you can drop the price to 14, but when the businessman cannot get the profit, they find another means to get the profit. So one means I feel that the government need to think. They need to read across the boundary, right? Because the thing here is that it tells you now from the docket that the business people are the one controlling every segment of our economy. That's clear. Because you just dropped the price of rice to $14. What happened next is that the U.S. rate dropped, right? There's a huge fall in the rate of U.S. When we look at it now, it's almost $170. So what happened is that when you get to the various stores, they tells you that $2,800 for a bag of rice. When you do the conversion based on the pull down in the U.S. rate, you find out that we say getting back to $16, $17 for that bag of rice. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. So the entire thing is not a hectic situation. We have to sit down and study it well, right? And the negotiation itself with the business people, because I keep saying this, when the businessman cannot find the profit, what happened is that when government push too much, they put it on the people, right? And definitely government get ugly. Government will get very ugly, because it tries to be politics. Because if I cannot get what I want, the profit, maybe about $3 profit, I cannot get it. So I will put it on the people. When the people suffer it, government will come back to rethink. That's the situation we are going through, because government got no control over the market. No control. So the only thing that will happen is that they push those laws. And when you push the law too high, even try to push it too high.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
And your thoughts.
Yeah, when you push it too high on the business people, right? Because I have a METIC agreement, right? The agreement that they went through, and there are a lot of different things that the president need to rethink. People that are controlling the boat, they need to rethink, so that the weight cannot be on our people, because the U.S. rate now, trust me, right? When they go down, then even the wages will not have value. That's another thing you need to look at. Even the wages that they paid, our people receive will not have value. So there are things that we need to look at. It's not a hasty move to settle down with the economy of our country. We all need to rethink and not to just run into it as they are doing. Yeah.
Okay. So Moses
so
coming.
I just want to piggyback on what the honorable said, and it is well put. Because this is basic economics here. Now you have more US dollars going after what? Fewer Liberian dollars. So even though you're gonna tell you say the importation or the wholesale price for a bag of rice is $14 US. Now you will have to spend more Liberian dollars to get. You have to spend more US dollars now to get fewer Liberian dollars. So that means there's still going to be a hike in the price of commodities.
You're right.
And so this is artificial. It is very, very difficult to sustain this.
You're right.
It's very, very difficult to sustain. Yes.
So let me welcome Representative Jacob DB quickly, so he can join us on the discussion as well. Rep, welcome to the program. Kindly unmute Representative DB. Kindly unmute.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yes, no problem.
I've not reached home yet.
It's understood. It's understood. Let's first get your take. I know initially we've invited you so as to share your thoughts on what is obtaining between the LPRC and petroleum importers. But before going there, I want to hear from you, because I'm sure you've been doing a couple of transactions and you're quite aware of what is happening. You also saw the central bank's reactions to speculations or reports that there's cash shortage on the market. What's your take? What's your reading? What have you experienced in the last few days?
So I, before I join you, I'll listen to you, and I'll listen to my colleague, my own brother, Honorable Moluba, talk about the performance of the economy and the decision that is being taken. In this country, we have to avoid politics when we want to make a real impact, when we want to have a real change. And as rightly my brother Honorable Moluba said, those decisions we call them knee-jerk decisions. Knee-jerk because they are not sustainable. Knee-jerk because they were not well thought through. So what we can do, if we can try to amend our central bank act and make hoarding an economic sabotage, it will help us a lot. The government, at one point, the central bank governor was at the Capitol building. He knows exactly how many Liberian dollars on the market, but he doesn't know how much exactly US dollars on the market. So because of that, we can't control the movement of United States dollars. So since we don't have control over the movement of United States dollars, we have to always make sure that we make our Liberian dollars stronger by increasing our export base. If not, we will continue to have these kinds of decisions. The marketers, the investors, or the sellers, they have the Liberian dollars, they have the US dollar. They determine how to proceed with their transaction, especially so when they think that the government is about to strangulate them, or the government policy is against their profitability. Then they find means to maneuver and survive in the process. Exactly. The government now is trying to drop prices of commodities. And those goods are sold in both Liberia and United States dollars. So before the prices dropped, they were selling things for 1,000 Liberian dollars as the equivalent of $5 US. But now when you go in the market to buy, they will tell you they don't want a US dollars, they want 1,000 Liberian dollars. Whereas $5 US is no more 1,000 United States dollars, is about $850. So you see the $150 gap. So these are things that are happening. So what we need to do, our monetary policy has to be stronger. We need to invest a lot into export. That will make our dollars, our Liberian dollars, stronger to be able to compete with the United States dollars, or to be able to compete with other foreign currency. If not, I don't care how much you drop the prices on the market. You drop the prices on the market for those that are taking US dollars, you are making their purchasing power less. Because, for example, if you pay me 1,000 United States dollars and the rate is at 160 or 150, you know that the amount of goods that I will buy will be lesser as compared to if the rate was $200. So you are I mean, disenfranchising those who are making US dollars as compared to those who are making Liberian dollars. So the economy we have to think it through and see how we can make sure that it is balanced. We make sure that it has an impact on the ordinary persons. Prices are still high. You can drop the US dollars and leave the prices up. So when you do that, it must commensurate.
So Honorable Jerry?
Yes.
Honorable? Yeah,
yes. 1 minute, Representative Small, more about 1 minute.
Honorable Small Mawakari, I want to know, Honorable, are you now suggesting that policy you talk about, stronger policy, will you be advising that we move to a single currency policy?
When we were in undergraduate, I did a thesis in that. Yes, I could advise them. Why I will advise? I will advise because, as I said in my intro, the Central Bank governor will tell you that they have $48 billion on the market. They have brought in $48 billion. Out of the $48 billion, 44 of that billion, 44 billion is in circulation. 4 billion, or let's say 40 billion is in circulation. 8 billion is still in the reserve, in the covers. So we know exactly, and we can be able to restrict the movement of the Liberian dollars. We know how to manage it. But with the United States dollar, we can't. So I will advise, if we want to have a stable economy, we have to move to one currency. Or if we can have that one currency, we ensure that the United States dollars is not as legal tender as the Liberian dollars. It means you can't transact both at the same time. For you to get FX, you must go through the Forex Bureau. Now, the leakages are so many. Every Fuller Man or every drugstore or every shop that you go to, they are changing US dollars. So to control it is difficult. So I will always suggest, like as I met the Central Bank governor last time, I told him, why don't we move to a single currency and see how our economy performs? Look at all economies around the world. Right, Ghana, even Sierra Leone. The Leone used to be so much useless, now they reduce the bills. So you're seeing the impact. But where you come here, you see people using US and Liberian dollars. There is no stability.
Yeah. Another question I may want to ask is, if you go to Nigeria, you will see the rate around 1,530 or plus for $1 US. Yeah, the US is a legal tender though, all over the world, but they mostly use their local currency. Do you really think in your mind that the current rate, in terms of how it is coming down, it really represents the actual strength of the Liberian dollar in terms of trade, in terms of what they call export and other stuff?
I said no. What happening is artificial. What happening is artificial. Is hoarding. People who the market forces now. It's not just the market forces, but the investors, the market. The business people who have more Liberian dollars, they are keeping the Liberian dollars. They are hoarding. So it's an economic sabotage. So what happening is not a real rate dropping? Is that rate dropping really? It's not controlled by the central government. It's not controlled by the central bank. The rate drop now has of the result of central bank or auction of US dollars or Liberian dollars is dropping because those who have the Liberian dollars are keeping it. And since they are dropping the prices on the market, we will make sure that we get the US dollars, we absorb the US dollars, and then put back the Liberian dollar and recycle the US dollar and make more profit. So that's what happening.
So,
it's not a normal thing.
So this is clearly in reaction to the recent step by the government to introduce or to reduce the wholesale price of rice to $14. You think this is in reaction? This is the market reacting to that decision?
Because look at the timing of the rate dropping. It just dropped on Sunday night.
Okay.
What caused it? Saturday up to 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. The rate was still at 200. Sunday morning, I went to change money, and the guy said the rate has dropped to 180. I said, what? He said, yes. So I said, when that happened? And you didn't see any circulation from the central bank. There's nothing from the commerce ministry, nothing. It dropped all by itself. Who determined that? Why did it drop? It's as a result of the speculation. The speculation, the market forces are driven by speculation. People think that when the prices drop, the US dollar price drop, and keep it at the Liberian dollar, the people will bring the Liberian dollars out more to buy in Liberian dollars, or they will bring the US dollar out more to buy in US dollars. So based on the speculations, the market, the businesses or the market will determine how they move with the market with the currency, because it's not coordinated, it's not directed, it's not managed by the central government.
Thank you.
Yeah, Moses, we're coming in.
Yeah, I see it from different perspectives.
Okay.
Look, Sabah or George,
Yeah.
like the two honorables have said, the prevailing situation is not sustainable. This is something that someone just woke up. People did this impulsively. People could be, this could be artificial, just to create the impression that the economy is actually making a progress. But when you look at the prices on the market, now you're going to have an influx of US dollars on the market, and you have fewer Liberian dollars. Now, when you want to buy something, I'm not an economist, but my assumption would be that if you want to buy something in Liberian dollars, you will have to spend more US dollars to be able to get the Liberian dollars. So that is still not going to help the ordinary people. If you were making $50 US a month, now you go buy a bag of rice and they tell you say 15 $30,000 Liberian dollars or whatever, that would cost you more money as compared to before, when you have more Liberian dollars for fewer US dollars. That's the problem we have. So this is
okay.
This is not sustainable.
Yeah, Representative Molba, you are coming in.
Yeah, for me, I see this as unpredictable inflation because we have a reduction in purchasing power. So because of that, I always say that the first mistake the government ever made was to negotiate with the business people, insisting that there should be a reduction in the price of rice at the rate of $14. It's not bad for all of the Liberian people, but then there should have been an assessment to look at all of those other areas. Because let me tell you, Sobo, what will happen is that the elite will not suffer, but who suffer is the poor people. Like Mark Lubo in Lofa County, she sells Bella Boy, right? At the end of the day, she put all her Liberian dollars together. The exchange is not based upon US dollar. The goods have been exchanged in currency through the goods with Liberian dollars. So when she received the Liberian dollar and Mark Lubo told her wives to build a building, right? And she gets to Seti Brella to buy zinc. They tell you that the price of zinc is $70 US, right? So $70 US, Mark Kluber will have to add up over the time what she have achieved to be able to get the rate of the $70 US. There's nothing like it been pulled down, because first thing, people have to exchange to get the US, buy US. So when you are buying, that's a different ball game. That's a different rate, right? So when you buy, Mark Kluber have to get back to the store to purchase. So those who suffer is those from the other end, the poor one. But what I would say is this. What I observe is that before you push or you drop a price, we should make sure that the US rate is static, right? There should be a downward or an increment based on the rating. Then you can put forth the projection for what the government wanted, the price of rice. When you have a projection in, there will be instead of the price rating. As I say, the business people are there. DB said the government got control. But let me tell you this: who set the price rate is Central Bank, right? Central Bank is the one who set the price rate. So if Central Bank come out to say, look, the rate is $200, trust me, everybody gonna go with the $200. I think this is political. The process is political. It's harming our people. We need to stop, because if the rate is down and Central Bank is not the one that projected that rate, we should have inspector out informing the business people. This is the rate. Don't tamper with the rate. You get that? But when we have the rate drop, then after 2 days, the rate in Central Bank also drop. It means that that's political, right? People are trying to picture to the Liberian people that we can do it. We have reduced the price of rice. We're going to reduce the US. It just doesn't work that way. Yeah.
I beg to differ. This is economics. It's not Central Bank that set rate. It's market forces. So it is true that I can purely say that for me, the quick fall has impact, because it was not because when rate is dropping, usually it takes time to drop over time. It doesn't just drop immediately.
So who set the market? Who set the rate? Who set the rate?
The market forces. This is free enterprise economy.
Exactly. It's a free fall.
When it is unpredictable, right? You cannot. When it is predictable, you can say, "Yeah, we agree." The market can set the rate, but it's unpredictable. It just happened.
That is why it will always be unpredictable all the time. So I can take quarters less than that. But it's always monitor honorable.
Yes,
you know what?
And I agree with him. Because the economy is not determined by the central government, it's determined by the market forces. That's speculation. This is economic speculation. They, like for example, when 2017, when George Weah took over, everybody thought that he has the power to reduce price. All of a sudden, the prices, the US rate dropped. When they found out that he could not do it, the government couldn't do it, the rate went back. So because they are speculation, people think that this will happen, and they think that their profit margin will be narrow when, as a result of government policy, they halt. And that's why it has to be an economic sabotage. It has to be a crime that anybody who wants to be punished should be prosecuted. When that happens, we'll stop experiencing what we are experiencing. Right now, it is the market forces that are determining the rate based on speculation.
Thank you, Honorable.
Okay. So we have.
Okay, let's go ahead. I see it different. Yeah, I see it different. You cannot tell me say the market will set the rate throughout. No. Because if you do that, it will still come down to.
It's not throughout, Honorable Moroba. It's not throughout. They do it to make artificial profit. When they gain what they gain, then it moves back up to what they want it to be. At this stage, the central bank is not coordinating because the central bank doesn't even know how much dollar is in circulation.
When you say the market, you're talking about floating exchange rate system. When you say the market, then you narrow it down to floating exchange rate system. Then that's not a good system. That's what I'm saying. That's not a good system.
We agree. All of us are saying it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. We need to take control. To take control, we need to have technicians. We need to be clear with this thing. Let's move to
This is what I'm saying. Cindy, George got issue with me. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the honorable, you see your colleague, we're getting some feedback. Your colleague is putting the thing in better perspective. We told you, you see, what is happening today, the market is reacting to speculation. It's true, honorable. What's happening right now, most of the business people now, they want people to buy Liberian dollar because the Liberian dollar has appreciated. Honorable.
Yeah, I can we analyzing. The rate as central bank drop. What caused the pull down of central bank rate? That's what I'm saying. Look at the central bank.
It's reacting to the market forces.
Wow. And it's a crafty system. That's a mess.
No, you're not.
Mr. Kennedy, let me just say something quickly. I do not claim to be an economist, but my layman knowledge tells me that when you see progression in the economy, prices will begin to decrease on a gradual basis. It cannot be automatic. What we notice, what has happened is like you up the roof of a house, and all of a sudden you are now on the floor. So that's not helpful. There's supposed to be a gradual process.
Mr. Sandy, thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Sandy, that is why even when I was on before you could come, I said we need to give it some time, maybe a week or two, to see maybe will affect the prices of commodities on the market, because some of the people, most of the market people got inventory, they got goods in that warehouse that they bought. They will have to sell them. Whether this is sustainable or not, that is the point. But we want it to be sustainable.
Okay, so gentlemen, we have to go further.
So, but before you leave, I have done my research. Stanley and DB need to get back to their research. It is the government who control the exchange rate. Get to their research. Go do your research.
Between the PRC and
government control the exchange rate. Let the people outside.
Upload is to read it quickly to all of us, so that we can understand what is happening. It's yesterday, I think Senator Prince Moi held a press conference. He backs petroleum reform. We understand. Let me read this. Senator Prince Moi has lauded President Joseph Boakai for implementing major reforms in Liberia's petroleum pricing system, including reduction in storage fees and the introduction of new revenue streams. Moi emphasized that the reforms based on legislative investigations will enhance transparency, bolster public services, and generate approximately US $4.5 million in revenue through the end of 2025. A 2-cent surcharge per gallon of gasoline will also be used to support public health, particularly in the fight against HIV and tuberculosis, while infrastructure projects will benefit from the acquisition of heavy-duty equipment to aid rural development. However, the reforms have faced sharp criticism from Representative Musa Hassan Belede, who argues that the reduced storage fees from 35 cents to 2 cents per gallon will harm Liberia-owned businesses and benefit the state-run Liberia Petroleum Refining Company, the LPRC. As CEO of Streamex Oil and Gas Company, Belede warned the policy threatens energy security, private investment, and then local job creation. The contrasting views from, So let's end it at that. But let me begin with you first, Representative DB. What is your own take on the latest, latest reduction?
So the reduction in itself is not a bad idea. The process, the procedure by which the reduction was done is the wrong idea. The act establishing the LPRC, that act was enacted July 31st, 1989 at the House of Senate. That act says that the LPRC has the sole responsibility to import petroleum products, distribute as well. That act does not give LPRC the right to set prices. What this investigation did that is not in the interest of the Liberian people, it was one-sided. The Senate alone cannot investigate without the concurrence of the legislature, the House of Representatives, to concord for this to be effectuated. The president does not have the right to levy taxes and create revenue and apportion it. The LPRC also does not have the right to create to levy fines and prices or how do you call it? Yes, to create prices and at the same time make allotment. What they did and what we are saying is that we are the people's deputies and we have the power of the purse. The budget is our property. The law says that it is only the legislature that will levy taxes, will put prices on things and say these are the prices and make allotment. I heard you read what Prince Moise and the Moise said, that the money generated from the reduction in storage will go towards tuberculosis and HIV. It will go towards the acquisition of yellow machine. It had to be the decision of the legislature. It doesn't have to be the decision of the president. The president does not give executive order for budgetary allotment. It is the House of Representatives that does that, or the legislature that does that. So that's the procedural error. That's the procedural error, and we have to stop that now. What that does is that we
let me ask you, if you are arguing that it is the legislature that approve all of those actions, a member of the legislature who was part of the entire arrangement, do you think that he doesn't know about this, or do you think that he knows and he's trying to just act like he doesn't know?
So I think some people are trying to play smart by playing on the Liberians that we raise $4 billion, $1 million, it will go towards this. All of us want to raise revenue, but when the revenue is raised, it must be appropriated legally. If they have realized that there are some new screens of revenue generation, those new screens of revenue generation, those should be submitted or reported to the legislature. During the budgetary allotment, we will make sure that those monies, those revenues are apportioned appropriately. For example, those that will go for health, we say they go on a major health, but with maybe with a cap that it will go towards AIDS or tuberculosis, but it goes on a ministry of health. The one for infrastructure, roads, and they will go on a public works. Road fund, it will go toward road fund. So there are line items in the budget for them. But as it is, it's just thinking. Who gave them the right? How do we get it as Liberian? How do we account for it? Those are not part of the budget. They were just created in a few days, and somebody went and put them, taking them somewhere so that they can grab them tomorrow. How do we give account of them? There was $10 million in the budget for the Yellow Nation acquisition. What have they done with that? You're not going to just come and say because there are money somewhere and benefit. We have heard money, we have heard the figures, but Liberia had never benefited from those. So when it comes to this one, we who are the people's deputies, we must know. And one thing again, I must tell.
Hello. Okay.
You be with me. Hello.
Yes.
And Smo will always agree with. Yeah. Are you getting me?
Yes. Go ahead.
So Smo will agree with me. The budget is the responsibility of the House of Representatives. The budget comes from us. That's why every time when we meet, the Senate and the representative meet, the representative is the head of a committee. We are the direct representative of the people. You can't be making allotment, appropriation, and exclude the House of Representatives. We have to concord, or we have to be the one that they have to emanate from us. Now that it comes from you, you need to talk to us. Our committee on Waste, Means, and Finance, public accounts, we need to look at them and say, yes, let's make the appropriation. But you can't be in the Senate and say, you and the president and the FPRC, you have identified it, you have investigated, and so you're making appropriation. It's wrong.
No, Representative.
Let's land the business, then you guys can come in, please.
Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
Representative Molba.
Yeah, let me say this. We have different lawmakers from different perspectives. Some people went down there to make money. Some people went there in the interest of the people. But I think some of us, we are there in the interest of the people. I listened to Senator Moy. When he said that it's good because there was a fraud system. We need to rectify or correct those fraud system. A system that he was one upon a time part of. He called that system fraud. So I think he did not do well when it comes to the system he referred to, because I expected them at that time to correct the system, but it did not. But let me bring you to the main thing. It's good. I'm in the interest of our people. According to Article 1 of our Constitution, it says all power is inherent in the people. All free government are constituted by their authority and for their benefit. That's what we were elected for. You have three branches of government. We were elected for the benefit of our people. But then, I see a failure when it comes to imbalance of power. It's a failure system. We have three branches of government. The three branches, the president can veto, the House of Legislature can override by majority vote, and the judiciary can declare law passed by the HOR or action by the president non-void or unconstitutional. That's the three men that we have. We all have from the three branches of government. And the Constitution says, according to Article 34D, let me start with Article 34D, says that the legislature shall have the power to levy taxes, impose duty, and other revenue. Article 34I also says, all revenue built, whether subsidies, change, impose duty, or taxes, and other financial bill shall originate from the House of Legislature. We are not saying that what the president is doing is bad, because what I gather is that we had people at that time, businesses at that time, Liberian businesses, that were in charge, and they were receiving more. To drop those figures for the Liberian people is good. Well, it should be done with law. That's the main thing. It should be done with law. You cannot exclude, because what Primo said, it tells me that I will tell the Liberian people, no need for the government to pay us. We need not to take pay. Close the damn house down, close that place down, and let's just run. That's what Primo telling us. Let me say this tonight. That's what Primo telling us. You should understand your function because of your oversight. Why because of Prince more oversight? Right? If you can sit there as a senator where you should be there to concur, or you're part of the house, but you're sitting there saying that it's right. to exclude the process, the legitimate process, exclude the legitimate process, go, Mr. President, do whatever you want to do, right? I think it's wrong. We should sit there and say sometime no to that. It's a good process to reduce the fee on behalf of our people, but it should be done through the House. But let me tell you, I think what the president is afraid of is this. We also have a rubber stamp house. We have a rubber stamp house, which is very corrupt. A very corrupt house. Maybe the president think that when he shifted there, people will want money to pass it. That's the kind of house we get, right? We need to desist from it. If we lawmaker cannot desist from that point, let's ask the president. Liberia will go nowhere. We're messing up our system. And we need an improved system. We cannot get an improved system just by allowing things to go and people sitting there and feel fine with it.
Okay.
So Saba.
Come in 1 minute.
Let me.
Moses, 1 minute. Moses, 1 minute. Josh wants to come in.
Moses got to wait. This is not you just elaborate people think. You always say for you.
Don't be afraid of me. I know you're always afraid when I read it.
You Neokoti and Neokoti. You come out with Neo. Don't be
afraid, my brother. You have made some real allegation against yourself that you can take bribe, but we're not going to go there anyway in our house. But we're not going to go there. That's not where I'm going. Where I'm going is.
So the guys there are where were they? The guys are RLJ. No, you want to discuss the guys that was getting RLJ already dead.
In the house that
and cookies, right? Free. They get a job free. No. That's not a people here. What RLJ that you are sponsoring? Discuss it. We need to change this country. We will change the country by force. My brother.
Representative Morva, 1 minute.
Honorable, you are my guest. I'm a panelist.
Yes, go ahead, quickly. Go ahead so Moses can come in.
So what really I wanted to say is, Honorable, where really technically I saw the distribution of those fees, where they are, what they are going for. I thought that legislature should have a say. But if they were levying no fees, LPRC has the right to levy fees. They are creating and giving the authority to do so. There are other taxes that are government taxes that legislature can do. Let the clarification be made. It's not all the fees that LPRC had to levy that will go to the house and say, yeah, you got to let us levy. Levy these fees. But how those fees, when you collect them, how they will be utilized, placed in the government coffers to be used, that's where the legislature
Can you state the portion of the law that gave LPRC the mandate, the authority? Can you state that portion? Or even their law, their own law? State that portion.
That's why I said they are creating the LPRC gave them solely the authority to bring petroleum in this country. But you see, I will not
consider to be a fact until you come with proper document and tell me, convince me. Now I need.
Okay. Let Moses come in.
George. Honestly speaking, George, I stand with our lawmakers on this. They are absolutely right. Absolutely right. If Senator Moi has said that there is a proposal, a recommendation, because in the House you have a committee on Ways, Means, and Finance. In the Senate you also have similar committee. However, these two committees do not make the legislature. These issues are debated in plenary. The Senate can discuss this matter in plenary and forward whatever the proposition is to the House of Representatives. The House will also discuss it at their level and take a decision. That's what they call concurrence. That's what they call concurrence. So when the lawmaker asks you, where is the law? We all know that the LPRC has the right to import, but when it comes to levying, over the years the LPRC has not done this. This is a change. So if you say there is a law that supports the LPRC in this direction, can they tell us this law? Where is this law? That's what they're asking you for.
So this is the problem the honorable man has. That's why I wanted him to read the board resolution when T. Nelson Williams was managing director. let him see the
Oh, that's a resolution now. That's a resolution.
Resolution is different. That's not a law. Your resolution is not a law. You make a mistake.
God, we're not fighting here.
No, we'll fail.
I know the party, I'm not there, but this one here to provide information to you. I said LPRC has the right to levy fees, certain fees, just as other public corporations in their area. The Act creating and gave them that right. But how those fees are to be used in terms of how they were disobedient, as it is done to say this one, 1 cent going for HIV, the other one going for this, is where it needs clarification. And I'm very clear about that.
So I come in 1 minute.
I'm clear about that.
How 1 minute.
How you distribute this
LPRC
money?
got it right. 1 minute, Kennedy. LPRC got it right to level storage fee. That's one.
Yeah.
0.05. LPRC got it right to level government social program. 0.02. LPRC got it right to level inspectorate and maintenance fee. Right? 0.08. LPRC.
Yes.
Come on. No way. No
Yes.
way. No way.
Yes. When it comes to government fees, that the government taxes, so go there. But when it comes to those fees, yes.
So government
Well,
fee, when it comes to government fee, you got it right.
Yes.
LPRC got it right.
Because the legislature got to do that.
Input
Once it comes to
margin.
government fees,
Retail
when it comes to
margin.
fees,
Just a bit of margin.
every is a public
LPRC got it
corporation
right.
with full revenue and support itself, its operations, and contribute profits to the government. So you lawmakers, you there, you don't know that.
Then no need to keep that portion in the Constitution.
You lawmakers, you don't know that.
No need to keep that portion in the Constitution. Let everybody to level fees. Why you want? Let everybody to do that.
I'll go here and do our contest against you, Mawa.
Y'all doing our work now, bro. Y'all doing our work. I just tell
No,
you,
we're
people
not
doing
doing
our
our
work.
work. We're telling you the truth. Honorable man,
That's
when
the
it's
wrong
when
thing.
it comes
That's
to
the wrong
the
thing.
issue
That's the
of
procedure.
how those
That's not
money
the
is supposed to
procedure.
be used in terms of the way it's splitted budgetary wise, that legislature business. Me, I feel so. Maybe LPRC can provide clarification for that. But in terms of levying fees,
You're leveling roll phone and all. Roll phone again, you're leveling. Roll phone, you're level A. Y'all say LPRC again. Oh my God.
no, the road fund, you know that it was created by an act of the legislature.
So,
Yes,
So
yes,
you didn't know how that one was.
Go read. That level,
Let me come in.
level of Bureau.
Representative DB.
No.
Go to your CDC can we still
We're
beat
not
you.
many. We less. But
Yeah.
we to say no. You're talking like
Yeah, man. Why you talking? What kind of man talking this?
Representative DB. Let me let me ask you. We're still hearing from but do you kind of adjust? Kind of make some adjustments.
Yeah, I think it's not for me.
Maybe not.
Honorable, it's from you. It's from you.
For you. Yeah.
Not for me.
All my appliances here are off.
Let me put all my own on. Let's see.
But we still hearing that sound. That's okay. Okay, so let me ask. We still hearing the sound, but let's continue.
I'm good.
Somebody give me the sound.
Yeah, we still.
Let me
Please mute.
Everyone, please mute your microphone. When you're about to speak, you unmute. When you're about to speak, you unmute.
I think it's okay now.
Okay. So, Representative DB, you and others been trying to crowd foul, but let me put it to you first. Your critics will think that you're trying to complain or crowd foul for your colleague Musa Hassan Beledi, the fact that you have now become the head of the caucus at the legislature, and your mayor Musa Beledi, it's being directly affected as a result of this action taken by the LPRC. So you are crying foul and complaining on his behalf. Your critics will think that way.
So, Sobo, the first thing is that we are not crying foul. We have a constitutional mandate to have oversight.
Okay.
And our constitutional mandate gives us that right to be able to make the wrongs these institutions, the ministries and agencies have to be checkmated by us. We are their representatives. What we are doing, we are not supporting an individual.
Okay,
We are
Representative DB, let me read your representative. We have on the line Senator Prince Moyi. Let's start with speak of you quickly. Senator, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Please mute your mic.
Please mute your microphone, Representative DB and the rest. Kind of mute your microphone. Senator, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Thank you, Sabo, and it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Okay, we really appreciate. We have, a few of your colleagues from the lower house, from the House of Representatives, who believe that you and others who are pushing for this reduction or the reform are not proceeding well, especially trying to circumvent or take away the legislature's authority to affect prices or approve to affect the sort of reduction or approve it. You acting outside of the legislature function. First, how do you react to this?
I'm told that Honorable Didi had a press conference today, and then he stated just what you have said. But so far, experience is the best teacher. Sometimes when our colleagues are not informed, they tend to say some things that are not in the right direction. And let me just put it that way. Nothing that the Senate did that is not in its authority. The issue of fees is not set by the legislature. We know the taxes are coded by the revenue through the revenue code. If you want to deal with additional tax, we amend the revenue code and then deal with that tax. But fees are regulatory activities that are left squarely with agencies that have the authority to do it. And then I heard him say the amount of money that we projected as a result of the 9-cent introduction for road work. My colleague should not worry. The projection is for next year, and the $16.6 million will be in the national budget, will be captured in the budget, and they're going to pass in the House, and the Senate will obviously concur or have an amendment as per our Constitution. But for the 4 months, once it is below $10 million, the Ministry of Finance has the authority to take decision as to the appropriation thereof. So anything that is beyond $10 million, that discretionary power is not with the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So I just wanted to provide that education for our colleagues. Apparently, he's not in the know that there are monies that can be directed by the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. The very PFN law that you were quoting, there are provisions in that law that clearly provides what the legislature can appropriate. If it is above $10 million, it has to come for recast. But if it is below, then of course there are latitude that is given by the PFM law provisions for the minister and his team to direct it to what the recommendation from the Senate and executed by the president can be done. So I just wanted to provide that carried. There's no breach here. Okay. We are not talking about tax. Year in, year out, FPRC has always regulated the storage fees. It came from 20 cents to 30 cents to 35 cents, and there were no issue. That's fees. Fees are regulated by agencies under the government.
Okay.
But if it comes to a particular tax issue, then of course we have the authority. The Constitution gave us that authority.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make that clear. Apparently my colleague did not have that understanding.
Okay, kind of hold the line and let me ask him what I really listened to you and he agrees with what you have said. Representative DB and Representative Mulbar. Kindly unmute your microphone. Representative DB? Okay. Representative Mulbar?
Yeah.
You just listen.
Yeah, I got what the senator said. I think with the threshold of above $10 million, I think I'm in coherent with that. But with the issue of levying taxes, right? Because according to Article 34D, when you talk about assigning a core figure to a price, we call that tax. That's tax. Nothing different. That's fees. Fees collected from the people is considered to be tax. You're taxing them, right? I want the senator to get that perspective of what I'm saying. I'm not just discussing the issue of fees. When you collect fees based on what the government wants, right? When you tax a goose, it's like taxing a goose. So when you talk about roll form 0.30 on the product, that's assigning a figure. When you are assigning a figure, you are setting taxes. You are collecting. When you collect, yeah, for government use, we consider it to be tax. So I want the senator to differentiate between fees and tax.
Okay, Senator, you listen to your colleague from the lower house.
Yeah. So, Honorable Mulbar, I just said, tax, like you rightly quoted the provision under our Constitution, is our sole prerogative to set, taxes across government or on any other commodity. That's the prerogative of the legislature. It is our right. But in this case, fees can be determined by the regulatory agency that has that statutory mandate to do that. So in this case, LPRC has that mandate to set fees. That's what they call storage fees, storage charge. And it's not surcharge, it's not income, income tax, it's not goods and services tax, GST. So,
Honorable Senator. So, Honorable Senator, can we restate fees as revenue? Is fees considered to be revenue? Can we classify fees to be revenue? Is it a revenue?
Say that.
Can we classify the fees you are speaking of? Right, you spoke of, right? Can we classify that as a revenue?
Yeah, it's going to be.
So when it is a revenue, you are breaching the law. According to Article 34D, right? They say that the legislature shall have the power to levy taxes, impose duty, and other revenue. And other revenue. When you say fees and you assign fee, you are collecting revenue. That money you're collecting is for government. A full part of income, a full part of revenue.
Honorable.
Yeah.
1 minute. Yes, go ahead, Senator Moyi.
Lawmaker discussing here. You are out of the show. You're not a lawmaker. Just wait there.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah, gentlemen, please let's listen to the senator, please. Yes, go ahead, Senator.
If it is part of your revenue, but if it is classified as fees, it doesn't have to come to you, Honorable Mulbar. You just read the article clearly.
Yeah, but where the law came from? Where the identical law came from? LPRC law, where it came from? It rooted from here. It originated from the Constitution. And that's what the Constitution is saying.
When a fine is imposed by the court, when a fine is imposed by the court, that fine is paid into government revenue. But is that a tax? No. It is not. So these one of our different regulatory agencies.
So is the tax coming, Honorable Senator, is the tax capture? You talk about fund of the code. Is it captured in our budget? So that what you are saying, you make reference that we didn't capture in the budget. the 16 million will be captured in the budget. That's what you said. So when it is captured in the budget, it becomes revenue. That's why you generate it.
Okay, so get this right now. I think you're missing on something.
No, I'm not messing on anything, Chief. I went to school, I learned. You cannot pass through my hair like that. You have to explain better.
It's a fee. It is a tax. It's a fee imposed by.
So it's not part of revenue. The Constitution did not mention jet tax. The Constitution said duties, right? It said tax level. It said impost, right? And it went on to say other revenue. So whether you take fasting, a full part of other revenue, you are generating it for the government, for the people. Honorable Senator.
They made a new law.
It is going to be classified.
We're ahead of spoil system. We have to correct the system. We don't correct it now. Our children will suffer. And the mistake you made. Not when the school you're lane. Then you keep saying they may not need all the. It's not about
the senator is speaking. Representative Moda is speaking.
You're not going to play with us, yeah? What's that? Yeah, go ahead, Senator.
Okay, so like for instance, the judge fined a lawyer $500. Who paid into government revenue. It's a revenue, but it's a fine, and that is within the law that a judge can impose that fine, and then the individual that is fined will go and pay that fine to government revenue. But it is not something that you have to legislate it. It cannot be legislated.
That's processing legal duty. I'm not referring to that. What I'm referring to is what you collect. What you collect. You are taxing something. You are taxing the product, right? You are taxing a commodity. Not the individual. The individual itself is different. At the court level, you are taxing individual. That's a fine. We are discussing the product.
Telling somebody say 9 cents will be set aside for this purpose. That's all you're doing. It's not a tax. We have not amended the revenue.
What is storage fee? Storage fee. It's a part of the revenue. That's not a revenue. You are collecting money. You are generating funds. If we cannot measure it, you put the money aside, somebody eat it. The library people will go off. We should know where the money going. People don't be and where the money going.
Senator, I think we hope to have you on. We hope to have you on Friday. Yeah.
Look, Asawa,
Friday. We'll bring you on. Please, let me just talk to the senator quickly. Friday we'll bring you on at 8:30, Senator.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. We'll just come over.
On some of the different taxes.
Yeah, sure.
We have amended the revenue code to include, so all that we can other issues.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you, Friday. Okay. All right.
I don't want to provide.
Okay, so
I want to provide information to the honorable man.
No.
Yes,
tonight I want you to know. I want to let you know created. Listen to me. You have not read this site. When the legislature created the FPRC, NPA, public corporations, they gave them the power. The legislature gave them the power to levy fees.
My brother, I'm with the party, but we gotta do things right. That's my thing. We gotta do it right.
Why you talking about party issue? Who discussing your own taxation thing that you don't know? Then you say party.
Now you not know it. You know it.
It's public corporation.
You are celebrating on a commodity. Then you say that's a revenue. You are celebrating on commodity. Storage fee. You are selling 1 gallon based on quality. Then you say that revenue.
All right, I'm not going to teach you that. When you go to Capital Building, you ask your question.
Let me tell you, gentlemen, please.
Hey, talking about
0778-460.
You get retail. Then you say, you know what?
778-460-793. Better still 086-540-987. Let me just take a few calls quickly. 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. Let me take this caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm okay, sir. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I'm for the name and Ambassador Divan Tiapo, political apostle, and I call from page 16.
Okay.
And let me commend you this evening for the show. But this evening, I've had serious issues with Representative Mulvey. I think that this representative, the lawmaker, he is just always in the habit. Whenever this lawmaker take the radio, he will back at those as the most educated person. Even when he and the colleagues are on the radio, he will just
say your issue.
What happened is that see the logic that have been proffered by the senator, and then that Bernard now want to patentalize the thing. He want to bring politics out of it. See what happened is the decision made by this government or by LPRC is logical and the part of the people. Because one side is that why so big that when LPRC decided to drop charges and then make the product to be available for the people at the cheap level. Then those governments saying that because they have motive or corruption, they see that and it is happening in a way where the government want to use the money and use it it's bad. We enjoy now. We enjoy because we no longer buy gas for 800 doing the job we are doing. That the lawmaker who just the lawmaker, you have to be very careful. You must start acting.
It's okay. You can be telling our lawmaker to be very careful. Thank you. Yeah, let's take the call on the line quickly. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, my name is Hassan Sharif from Broadville.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes with the listener, we can want to enjoy the program, but the young man in studio, I don't know in studio, the representative, not making out to enjoy the program. Yeah, at least when you're talking, you get your friend chance to talk, then we'll understand. But the man talking, he's talking, the senator talking, he's talking. The program now about making to be argumentative and reasonable. That's the reason with a friend. That's what I want to say. So
okay. All right. Thank you very much. That is the record on the line. Good evening.
I'll move to District 3.
Good evening. Hello.
Come.
0778-460-793. 0778-460-793. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Good evening to your panelists.
Okay. Okay.
Let me say this, right? I want to first of all thank my president for the bold step he has taken to minimize the teenage process. Now the US will every day escalate the culture for the devil that are saying that say that one is not good. They carrying a different. But let me say this. So this guy, most of the tornado that house will be empty. It will be full with so many pieces. Trust me, because they will be there. They're not in our interest. So you listen to Honorable Simon Mobile, they talking. This is not for about thank God. The social media, the print media, the electronic media is there now. They can remind us. What happened? Why you saw today, you will do tomorrow. So Taweka will be reminding them why they say now what they will need to say because if you
don't want to go against the price.
You on a radio talking all about that.
Okay, all right. Many thanks. You made a point already.
Let me say this to Musa Bete and Koki Abeki. The yellow machine carried to my home back in Lufa County. What do you want to do? Let it not be political thing. Let it not school political go. Let it do the way what you want to see. Otherwise, why not do it? Trust me, that machine, it will not come by here. You will wait that machine, will give the money, will share it,
okay.
That machine not come here until the way he promised he will do it. You're not going there because you must get Bini or Musa Bede. That machine, forgetting Musa Bede, if you not do the way you want to see who will put on card to be there. So thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Representative Debbie is back. Okay, but we had Representative Prince.
Debbie ran away.
I didn't run away, man. My phone ran out of battery. My phone is not current. I cannot run away from Prince Moyi. I just regret why my phone went off.
Hello, good evening to you.
It's on charge, but it just went off.
CEO Miller Devlin, I call you from District TV, Monserrato County.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let me say good evening to our lawmakers that are in studio there. Hello, let me say this. It is true that yes, indeed, every government can bring in new policy. It happened before ago, our year. I stood on the line for gas for complete 6-7 hours. And I will become victim. I never got gas and I left the area. And now today, Liberian, we are enjoying, everybody is happy to get gas free without level of press. I think every one of our lawmakers there, they are the people that settle everything. So I see people talking about Honorable Small accurate. He is not accurate, but he tried to make the Liberian people to understand and get it clear. So all the senator, all the lawmakers are in studio, nobody is arguing with their friend, but they're making we the listener to know that yes, indeed, this is the rightful way and this is the rightful way. And we know go all kinds of they are the same people that will discuss it and bring it back to the Liberian people.
Okay.
And any enjoyment that will come for them, they are the same people that will conclude it before we get the benefit of it. So nobody is arguing. The two of them, every one of them are on the same level. So thank you very much.
Okay. Let's take another call in the last quickly.
My name is Prince Fatima and I'm from FD District 4.
Okay.
Well, I think the issue about FPRC and data link or the storage, for me, I think Honorable Belete and his likes, I think they exploited the country for a very long time, but over 13 to 14 years. And just a finger of an album, policy by the Liberia Petroleum Refining Company and the president made it, the FPRC to what, generate $4.6 million after they reduced it from the 35 cents to just 9 cents. They were charging 9 cents for storage fee. The FPRC was to generate 4.6 million. So you just think about it as a Liberian. So do you see how these guys, Musa Belete and his leg destroy or exploited this country? I think that is unfortunate. Okay. So these people have now shown themselves to the Liberian people that they are not credible. They lack integrity. Tomorrow they are requesting for higher office. Tomorrow, if they are opportune to go to higher office, I think definitely they will rid the entire country of our resources and finances.
Okay, all right. We'll take three more calls quickly. At 10:15, we'll be shutting down. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call, or better still, 0886-540-987. Again, we'll have Senator Prince Moyi, I'm sure, on Friday. So he'll be available to come and talk about a couple of issues on Friday. We'll have him, and then I'm sure, hopefully, we'll have Representative Molba and Representative Debbie on the line. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. I'm sure at 10:15 we'll be shutting down. 0778-460-793. But in the meantime, let me begin getting party comments quickly. Let me hear from you. But before then, let me go to Representative Debbie and then Representative Molba. Kindly on mute.
Did you say you want to get my party comment?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm so sorry that I have to go off. My phone went out of current, that I was not able to entertain the senator.
Representative, or you're not no small representative.
Oh, let me squeeze.
I don't work with charge all in the street.
Maybe I just joking, man. I'm joking, my brother. Sorry,
yeah. So, as I said, I didn't not hear what the senator say concerning his justification. But what we are saying is that there were missteps along the way. Nobody is backing or supporting or high fee charges on things. We are saying the procedure with the oversight responsibility, the LPRC, the senator, and whosoever that were involved with the process. There are a lot of missteps, and our oversight responsibility will not be compromised with figures. You just call figures and say $4 million will benefit. Where are the $4 million going? Will the Liberians see the $4 million without it being budgeted, without it being spared out in the budget? We need to be serious about it. It's not about calling figures. All of us can call figures. You call figure and hang the figure, and after a few months you go back for the figure. That's not what we're talking about. The charges, those are legislative functions, and the senator knows that. But he's playing on the minds of all of Liberians who, when the year figures, they think, yeah, that's all to it. We know that these things have to happen, but it must happen in the right manner. The procedures are wrong. You cannot take the responsibility of the legislature for yourself. When those things are allotted, they must be allotted by the legislature. And it's not only the Senate that does that. It is the representative and the Senate. We have to concur. That's what the law says.
Let's wait there. Thank you very much. Let's hear from Representative Sumo Molba.
All right, let me just say this to the Liberian people. We are in their interest. What the president did is correct to reduce the fee, at least for the interest of the Liberian people. We consider it correct. But the process is wrong. It should have been done through the House of Legislature, where we levy fee based on the Constitution. Let me say this. The Honorable Senator said that fees are not meant for taxes. And let me get it straight with him. This is an open debate to him. Management fees, flight fees, subscription fees, storage fees, maintenance fees, testing, and handling fees. They are all recurring revenue. They are under the revenue code. They should form part of revenue. That money should be put aside where the Liberian people will not be aware of it. It should be in the budget. Collection may should be assigned in the budget. So there is an open debate.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
On Monday, he said. On Friday. Hopefully, we'll have Senator Edwin Snow on Monday. We spoke of him yesterday, and he's away. He said you'll join us on Monday.
So tell you 1 minute, Sabo. Let him extend to the senator. Let him study what we call recurring revenue. Let him study. Then he will know what we're talking here.
Did that thing.
Okay, Moses, let's hear from you.
I don't feel the Liberian people.
Moses?
Yes. I want
We'll be ready for him on Friday. These things have to stop. One person doesn't own this country. We have to stop these things. The senator needs to understand that the country does not belong to one person. They can't do that, and they have to stop.
I'm with the paper. I just want the right thing, that's all.
The man is coming exclusively.
But yeah, I want to express gratitude on behalf of the Nighttime Heat. I want to express gratitude to our two lawmakers for honoring our invitation. I think it was a great show. They have a very strong position. And honestly, I agree with them. I agree with them on a number thing here, because if the LPRC chose to apportion as to how this money will be spent, then the role of the legislature in that matter is very critical. It cannot be the LPRC deciding we'll raise this and we'll do this. So these two honorable lawmakers, I stand with you, honorable. You guys are making a very salient argument,
Thank you.
George, you made a point, but man, let's give it to the honorable now on this one here. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I'm not with you because I know how public corporations
functions.
I work. Honorable man, just give me a chance. You don't work with any public corporation. You don't know how to work. We know how they work. The legislature created LPRC, NPA, and those public corporations, and gave them the authority to collect, to levy their own fees and collect for certain reasons.
to run themselves and remake profits in the government. They see legislature. So I'm very surprised to see two lawmakers, but it's not strange because they are new. They are not seeing these things. So I here on this show, as a panelist, I'm telling you guys, go back and read. The law says you got the right to delegate.
What's the interpretation that they
I
have
got
used?
nothing to read. Just conclude and get nothing.
The law says you got the right to delegate some of your authority, those authority to collect those fees, well, delegated to these public corporations.
Okay.
In the eye that created them. So I'm not with you. I feel that the people who know the function of these public corporations, you make yourself very ugly before them on this matter. So I think you should go back and you will come back, you will tell me, say, yeah, George, you said true. Mind you, I'm going to move to District 3 by next week. And I will be right up Point Road there. That's where I'm going to move.
No,
You want
Move it down. When you stop, move it down.
Okay, gentlemen, let me try to reference few of our viewers. Some of them, not all. Vinicius Junior Bar, he didn't say from where. He done Washington, Siliki Trawari, didn't say from where. Clone Destiny, Ila Sitan, didn't say from where. Maxwell Gotton from Do Community. Ambassador Ezekiel B. Donin Dennis, didn't say from where, and it's Johnson from Nimba County, Hilton Jero from Sano County, Gloria Boyu passed away, I'm sure, from the U.S., Ophida S. George from home, Moses Momolu from USA, Mohammed Dudu Kemoka Jr., didn't say from where, Olawa Molomo, from Looking Town, King Toa, didn't say from where. Tom Tower, didn't say from where. Vamuya M. Salif from Broadville. So, okay, there we can start. We can name all. Well, this is just how we go home on this presentation of the Nighttime Heat. Thanks to our producers and thanks to my two panelists, Moses and George. Thanks to our guests as well. I will have Senator Prince Moyas of the Consented. You'll be here on Friday, and of course, hopefully, on Monday we'll have Senator Edwin Snow. Until then, have a pleasant night and a restful one. Sober George is my name.